A parent's quest to save their sick child gives rise to a family business that turned into a legacy honoring his struggle. The journey of Jackson Reamer and his parents, Megan and Scott, represents really the power of the human spirit. It also showcases one of family's Made in America story presented earlier this year on TV's popular show Shark Tank. Megan and Scott join us now with more on their inspirational story. Good morning to both of you.
Good morning, Mike.
Good morning, Mike.
Thanks for being here. Can you explain a little bit about Jackson's illness and I guess really your search for a diagnosis?
Jackson had a rare autoimmune disease called Aicardi-Goutieres syndrome, and it went undiagnosed for 12 years. So during that time, he lost his ability to walk and talk, and we were frantically searching for answers. And so one of the things we decided to do was focus on the only thing we had control over, which was his diet and the types of foods we were feeding him.
Yeah, and so then that's what you focused on. So why did you focus on dietary changes to help your son, and specifically, what did you do?
Well, we thought Jackson was struggling with an inflammatory-based disorder, and so we just started to identify foods if they were pro-inflammatory or anti-inflammatory. And then we started to drill down and just do some more trial and error, and through a lot of research, we found that a high-fat, low-carb diet was working for him. And by high fat, I mean saturated ancestral fats like coconut oil. And we were seeing that we were alleviating some of the symptoms that we were trying to address.
How did you narrow it down though to the high fat diet? What foods were you seeing had an impact on him?
Well, we were struggling with trying to understand what foods were maybe contributing to his inflammation and what foods were helping to curb it. And so we started to tear apart the food pyramid, the carbs and the fats and the proteins, the types he was eating, as well as the ratio, the percentages of those foods. And really found through just a lot of experimentation that the high fat, low carb worked for him.
Yeah, I don't need to tell you guys that this is probably some controversy surrounding this type of diet, but you started a company in your own kitchen. Why were you inspired to do this? And I guess, what are some of the challenges that you guys faced?
Well, the challenges were pretty profound, having started a business in Jackson's Honest in our kitchen. Starting a food business as well also has its challenges. But after years of encouragement, friends and family would try our chips, our tortilla chips, our potato chips, and say, "Gosh, you really should try to sell these." So we tried to do just that, and lo and behold, after being in our kitchen just a few years ago, now the products are available in more than 5,000 stores around the nation, Amazon.com, Whole Foods, Sprouts. We couldn't be more humbled about that for sure.
And then, I mentioned you had that experience on Shark Tank. Can you share that experience with us and how you plan to honor Jackson's legacy through that company that bears his name?
Sure. Yeah, we always like to say that being on Shark Tank was sort of like receiving a business degree, a business school degree in an hour. We learned a lot about negotiation, a lot about our own business, for sure. It was humbling, absolutely, and just as importantly, now that Jackson has passed, it's part of his legacy. Now that millions of people through Shark Tank have heard about the story, read about our mission, and now know about our products, it's an incredibly important to us as parents part of building Jackson's legacy and understanding and sharing his struggle with his rare disease.
Yeah, I really wish we had more time to dive into this a little deeper, but they're telling me we got to wrap this up. Where can we learn more about Jackson's story?
Sure, all of our products, tortilla and potato chips, can be found on jacksonshonest.com, and so can our story.
Thanks for sharing the story with us, and good luck with your endeavor on this. Thanks, Megan and Scott.
Thank you, Mike.
Thanks, Mike.
You betcha. Kelly, over to you.